Hello, welcome back to this channel. If you are new here, I welcome you. I am Virginie, interior designer, and I deal with houses that represent 100% who has to live them, from consulting to the entire renovation process. I also have foreigners who want to buy and renovate in Italy to support them all the process long. Difficult otherwise to follow from a distance. In this channel I will talk about home and renovation, trying to give you helpful tips so that you can have your dream house, a house that represents you in depth and where you will always feel at your ease. Are you preparing to renovate your home? In today's video we will see together the 7 fundamental things to keep in mind before starting your renovation so that you can make the house of your dreams come true. But before we get started, if you love everything related to the topic of home and renovation, remember to subscribe to my channel for more information on this subject. And please don't forget to click the like button because it is the best way to support this channel and my content. I will really appreciate it. You've already noticed it, haven't you? Renovating a home is not a picnic. It all starts with a dream, the idea of a cozy home in which to go to live. But sooner or later, you will have to face reality. Giving life to what you have in mind is very complicated. Do you have any idea how many people failed to create what they wanted? Think about how you would feel if, after spending so much time, energy and money, you find yourself having to live in a beautiful and functional home, but that doesn't not represent you. It is not what you were dreaming about. An idea in mind is not enough. It's not enough to know what you want. What you need is a real, detailed project in every single part that starts with the heating system and reaches to the furniture. And be very careful, the more detailed it is, the more the restructuring will approach your dream home. In particular, 7 elements must be clear in your project before work begins. If even one of these isn't perfectly outlined, take your time and wait before starting the renovation. Here are the 7 essential elements of each project. The first one, the heating system. Of course, everyone knows that a house has to be heated. What many people don't think of is how it will be heated. It is not an aspect that you can afford to ignore because it is a really technical choice that will significantly change the whole home aspect. Take for example a traditional heating system. If it's your choice, you will have to indicate exactly where to place the radiators, and it is a fundamental aspect because those portions of the wall will not be freely used. Or think of the underfloor heating. You have to define it at the design stage. For the system to function and perform at its best, a certain thickness of the floor is required to contain the right panels. Even when it comes to air conditioning, you can't allow yourself to leave everything to a later decision. Did you know that there are rules for minimum plant heights under which you cannot go? The options to heat a home are different and each requires specific and preventive interventions. Make sure you choose the type of installation right away before restructuring, otherwise you will be forced to accept the traditional one. Second aspect, the floor. Many people think that the floor is a simple matter of taste. The reality, however, is different. Of course, the flooring is essential for the aesthetic of the house and is also the basis of the atmosphere you will breathe. But that's not all. Each type of floor needs its subfloor with unique characteristics. This means that you cannot choose the floor at a later time because, in absence of instruction, the constructor company will prepare a foundation for traditional tiles. After all, it is the typical choice. What happens if, while leafing through a magazine or visiting another house, you fall in love, for example, with cement tiles? The difference in thickness between the cement tiles and tiles is so clear that the company will have to break the already prepared substrate and repeat the work, with a consequent waste of money and time. Third element, the kitchen. Despite being a fundamental room with attention to detail, people often make the mistake of choosing it only at the last time. Do you really want the kitchen of your dreams to have to fit with the systems already in place? Wouldn't it be much better if instead the systems were adapted to your kitchen? If you choose the kitchen at the last minute, you will be forced to go down to many compromises, among which may be to give up on the one you most loved. So, once you have defined the dimensions of the room, go to a retailer and study the best solution for you together. You will ask the constructor company to mount the systems based on the kitchen you really want, without having to opt for second choices. Fourth element, lighting. Light is the basis of well-being, and if you forget to study lighting right away, you may find yourself in a home that is not welcoming. And it is not just about dark or poorly lit environments. Even a very bright house may not make you feel at home because the distribution of light is maybe not optimal to let you experience the sensations you would like to live. To get a result that will excite you, get to work with the electrician before it's too late. But you have to do it after following the point 7. Point 5. Sanitary facilities. Before starting work, plumbers always ask for data sheets of the chosen sanitary ware. This is because there are now different types of sanitary, like suspended or floor ones. If you are not prepared, or even if you have no idea what you want, the installations will be made for sanitary floor. Once again, you will need to shell out more money and waste time if you change your mind and want the suspended one, unless you settle for something that you wouldn't really want. Point 6. Walls finishes. The same reasoning of the floor applies here. The background is different depending on the material you choose. Whether it is stone, tiles, wallpaper, or simply painting, waiting will be never a good choice. Once again, the risk is to have to repeat work already done. Why spend more money and time? Point 7. Furnishings. Even if the furniture is objectively the last thing to enter in the house, it is also the one of the first to think about. If you don't want to find yourself living in a home that is not what you dreamed of. If you think I'm overreacting, simply reflect on the fact that, for example, you may be forced to hide a light cutouts that you had thought about because of an unplanned piece of furniture. Not to mention the wall light that you have now to move because of a piece of furniture that again you hadn't considered. Or again, you might be forced to use unsightly extension cords because even though you have put dozens of electrical outlets, you need the one just where you would like to place a nice lamp. As I said before, a renovation is a complicated path that should be addressed without leaving anything to chance. True, a project that is so detailed to take into account these 7 aspects is complex and time-consuming. But don't you think it would be better to invest some time and effort in the beginning if this means to succeed in having the house of your dreams? And that's not all. It also means not wasting time after or wasting money unnecessarily. If you are going to start with a renovation, stop for a second and ask yourself if you really have thought of every detail. If not, don't hesitate to contact me. I'll leave you my contacts in the description box below. If you loved the video, let me know with a thumb up, and if you haven't done it yet, remember to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you will not miss the next videos. See you soon. Bye.